The old saloon stood at the end of a dusty road, its wooden beams weathered by time and the elements. Once a bustling hub for townsfolk and travelers alike, it had seen countless laughter, music, and lively conversations. In its heyday, the saloon welcomed cowboys fresh from the trail, and locals eager for a night of dancing and storytelling. The air would be filled with the sounds of clinking glasses and cheerful banter, while the piano played a lively tune in the corner. However, as the years passed, the saloon slowly fell into disrepair. The roof sagged under the weight of neglect, and the windows were boarded up, shrouding its former glory in shadows. Weeds grew wild around the entrance, as if nature were reclaiming what had once been a gathering place for joy and celebration. The vibrant paint had peeled away, exposing dull wood beneath, which whispered stories of happier times. Despite its current state, the old saloon still held an undeniable charm that beckoned to those with a sense of adventure. Rumors swirled around town that it was haunted by the spirits of those who had once filled it with life. The walls seemed to sigh with echoes of laughter and sorrow alike, telling tales of friendships forged and hearts broken within its confines. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the saloon's entrance, one could almost feel the lingering presence of its past residents, waiting to share their stories once more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the town, a figure appeared at the edge of the winding road. Emma, a curious traveler with a heart full of adventure, had just arrived in town. With her backpack slung over one shoulder and a notebook in hand, she felt an inexplicable pull towards the old saloon. Its eerie charm captivated her and sparked her imagination. Emma was known for her inquisitive nature. She loved exploring forgotten places and uncovering their stories. As she approached the saloon, the creaking wooden sign that swayed gently in the breeze caught her attention. It read, "Welcome to the old saloon," though only one word felt true anymore, the old. She pushed open the heavy wooden door, which groaned on its hinges as if waking from a long slumber. Inside, old memories clung to the air like dust motes in sunlight. The dim light filtered through cracked windows, illuminating faded photographs and dusty bottles lining the bar. Emma felt a rush of energy, as if she were standing on hallowed ground where echoes of laughter still resonated. Unable to shake a sense of connection to the place, Emma settled onto a rickety stool at the bar. She pulled out her notebook and began jotting down her thoughts, imagining what life must have been like during the saloon's glory days. Little did she know that this night would bring more than just ideas for her stories. It would lead her into an unexpected adventure filled with whispers of long-lost souls. As Emma settled onto the rickety stool, her curiosity drove her to explore deeper into the saloon. She stood up, her notebook tucked under her arm, and began to wander through the dimly lit space. Dust danced in the shafts of light that filtered through the cracked windows, and every step she took stirred up the stories trapped within the old wooden floorboards. In the corner, beneath a pile of faded linens, she discovered an aged trunk adorned with rusted clasps. With a little effort, she managed to pry it open, revealing a treasure trove of old photographs and artifacts. Emma carefully lifted out sepia-toned images depicting smiling faces in vintage clothing, their eyes twinkling with life that had long since faded. There were pictures of lively gatherings, dances in full swing, and cowboys sharing tales over drinks. Beside the photographs lay an ornate whiskey bottle with etched designs that shimmered in the dim light. As she picked it up, a sudden chill swept through the room, making her shiver. Emma felt an electric thrill run down her spine. Was it just her imagination, or did she sense something more? Driven by an instinct, she moved back to the bar and began flipping through the photos again, studying them closely for hints of the past. Among the portraits was a picture of a couple locked in a joyful embrace, but Emma couldn't shake the feeling that they were watching her from the frame. The atmosphere grew heavier, and she realized that the saloon held more secrets than she could have ever imagined. The next morning, Emma decided to visit the local diner, hoping to gather more stories about the old saloon from the townspeople. As she sipped her coffee, she overheard a group of locals whispering animatedly at a nearby table. Their chatter piqued her curiosity, and she moved closer to listen. One woman, with silver hair and sparkling eyes, spoke of a time when she and her friends dared each other to spend the night in the saloon. Around midnight, she recalled, we heard laughter coming from the bar, even though we were the only ones there. It sounded just like the old piano playing. Another man chimed in, sharing a tale of his own. He described an encounter with a ghostly figure dressed in cowboy attire who appeared to him while he was cleaning up after closing hours. He just stared at me with this sad expression, he said, shaking his head. I felt like he was trapped and wanted to tell me something. Emma listened intently, enthralled by each story. The townspeople mentioned lights flickering on and off when no one was around and strange whispers echoing through the empty rooms. One elderly gentleman claimed that if you placed your ear against the bar, you could still hear the faint sounds of laughter and clinking glasses from long ago. These stories painted a vivid picture of the saloon as not just a building but a vessel for memories and spirits longing to be remembered. Emma's heart raced. Each tale only deepened her fascination with the place and its ghostly residents. That evening, after gathering countless stories, Emma felt a surge of excitement and determination. She decided to spend the night in the old saloon, eager to witness any supernatural occurrences for herself. Armed with a flashlight, her notebook, and a healthy dose of curiosity, she returned to the saloon as darkness enveloped the town. As she stepped inside, the familiar creaks of the floorboards greeted her like old friends. The air felt charged and electric, as if the spirits within were aware of her presence. Emma set up her sleeping bag in a corner near the bar, where she could see every shadow that danced in the dim light. She turned on her flashlight, illuminating the dusty room and revealing more faded memories hidden in every nook. Hours passed slowly as Emma wrote in her notebook, jotting down her thoughts and observations. Suddenly, she heard a faint sound, a delicate tinkling that reminded her of music coming from the far side of the saloon. Heart racing with anticipation, she followed the sound, shining her flashlight into the dark corners. As she approached an old piano that stood against the wall, it appeared untouched but seemed alive with energy. The tinkling notes grew clearer, echoing softly through the room. Emma's breath caught in her throat. Was this just her imagination or something far more chilling? As she listened intently, shadows flickered around her, creating an atmosphere thick with mystery. Little did she know this night would unravel secrets that had long been buried within these walls. As Emma stood near the old piano, her heart racing with anticipation, a chill swept through the saloon, causing her to shiver despite her warm clothes. The air felt thick and heavy, and shadows flickered around her, making it hard to focus. Just as she began to relax, she heard soft whispers floating through the air, as if unseen figures were deep in conversation just beyond her reach. The faint sound of laughter echoed against the walls, growing louder and then abruptly fading away, leaving Emma questioning her senses. She glanced around, her flashlight illuminating the dusty corners of the room, but there was no one in sight. Her pulse quickened as she brushed her fingers along the bar top, where a sudden drop in temperature sent chills down her spine. It felt as if someone had just passed by her, brushing against her shoulder with an icy hand. Flickering lights overhead drew her attention next. The lantern swayed lightly as if stirred by a gentle breeze, yet all windows were tightly shut. Emma felt a compelling urge to explore the source of unusual sensations. As she moved deeper into the saloon, the whispers intensified, guiding her toward the back room where she could swear she saw the silhouette of a figure in her peripheral vision. With each step further into the shadows, she could almost feel the smiles of those long gone wrapping around her like an embrace. This night promised to unveil secrets that had remained hidden for far too long, and Emma was determined to uncover them all. As Emma moved cautiously toward the back room, she suddenly felt a warm breeze sweep past her, bringing with it a sense of comfort rather than fear. The whispers she had heard before began to coalesce into a single voice, soft and inviting. It seemed to beckon her closer. "Welcome, traveler," the voice said gently, echoing through the dimly lit space. Emma's heart raced, but instead of retreating, she felt drawn to the sound. "I've been waiting for someone like you to share our stories," the voice continued. Squinting into the shadows, Emma finally saw a shimmering figure materialize before her. An ethereal man dressed in cowboy attire, his face beaming with warmth and kindness. His eyes sparkled with mischief as he tilted his hat slightly. "I'm Sam, and I once called this saloon home," he said with an infectious smile. Emma felt her apprehension fade as Sam began to recount tales of life in the saloon during its heyday. Stories filled with laughter, love, and revelry. He spoke of nights filled with dancing and music that echoed through the town. "The laughter never truly left," he explained. "It lingers in these walls." As Sam shared his memories, Emma realized that not all spirits were bound by sorrow. Some sought companionship and understanding. She listened intently, feeling a deep connection to his past and the vibrant history of the saloon. The night transformed from one of fear into a beautiful exchange between two souls across time, united by their love for this cherished place. As Emma and Sam continued their conversation, she felt increasingly connected to the history of the old saloon. "But not all stories here are joyous," Sam said, his tone shifting to one of somber reflection. "A great tragedy happened many years ago. Much more than just laughter and music linger here." Curious, Emma urged him to share more. Sam recounted a fateful night when a terrible fire broke out during a celebration. People were trapped inside, and despite efforts to save them, many lives were lost. The saloon had been bustling just moments before, filled with happy guests enjoying themselves. Then chaos erupted. Emma listened intently as Sam described the panic, the haunting cries for help echoing in the night. This tragedy had woven itself into the very fabric of the saloon, leading to its haunting presence. "We never wanted to scare anyone," Sam explained, "but we are bound to this place by love and loss. We want our stories to be remembered." Feeling the weight of his words, Emma looked around the dimly lit room with fresh eyes. It was no longer just an abandoned establishment. It was a memorial for those who once celebrated life within its walls. As she gazed at the old photographs lining the bar, she realized their smiles were also a part of this ongoing narrative, a blend of joy and sorrow that transcended time. In that moment, Emma felt an unbreakable bond form with both Sam and the spirits of the past. She understood that acknowledging their sorrow was just as important as cherishing their joyful memories, making her journey through history a truly meaningful experience. Inspired by her experience with Sam and the stories of the old saloon, Emma felt a strong desire to honor the memories of those who had once filled its walls with laughter and life. She envisioned a gathering where the townspeople could come together to share their own stories and celebrate the vibrant history of the saloon. With a newfound purpose, Emma rushed to the local diner the following morning, spreading her idea among the locals. Excitedly, she proposed a saloon remembrance night, inviting everyone to bring their cherished memories and any old photographs they might have. The townspeople were intrigued, with some even expressing eagerness to contribute their own tales of the saloon. Word spread quickly, and soon, the anticipation built as the community rallied around this emotional event. As the evening approached, the saloon was transformed into a warm and inviting space filled with candles and lanterns. Emma decorated the walls with photographs and artifacts she had discovered in the trunk, effectively blending the past with the present. When the guests arrived, laughter and chatter filled the air, echoing against the very walls where Sam had shared his own stories. As each person took turns sharing their memories, Emma could feel the spirits of the saloon welcoming these tales home. She realized that this gathering was not just for remembering. It was also about healing. The stories poured forth like a river, connecting everyone in a way that transcended time. In that moment, Emma understood that the old saloon wasn't merely a relic, but a living testament to the bonds formed by shared experiences and love. As the sun rose over the small town, casting a golden glow on the old saloon, Emma knew her time there was coming to an end. The Saloon Remembrance Night had been a resounding success, bringing together the living and the memories of those long gone. The laughter and stories shared had filled the space with warmth, creating a bond that felt palpable in the air. Emma stood outside the saloon, taking in its weathered beauty one last time. She felt a deep connection to both the townspeople who had welcomed her and the spirits who had shared their stories with her. Sam's friendly presence lingered in her thoughts, reminding her that she was not just a visitor, She was now part of this rich tapestry woven from the past. As she prepared to leave, Emma made a promise to herself and to the town. "I will return," she whispered, feeling the weight of her words. She wanted to continue honoring the legacy of the saloon and its inhabitants, both living and spirit. This place had changed her, opened her heart to histories untold, and shown her the beauty in remembering. With one last glance back at the old saloon, she smiled, knowing it would always hold a piece of her heart. As she walked down the dusty road away from town, Emma carried with her not just memories of a haunting experience but also a newfound understanding of community and connection that transcended time. An unbreakable bond that would draw her back again and again.